Hello, I'm Adam Pacitti. Who are you?
I'm Sam Driver.
Great. What have we got in store this morning, Sam?
I guess some wrestling news, if that's what people want, of course.
Let's give them what they want. Let's put smiles on faces. Let's have a laugh. Here are the headlines. Are WWE bringing back a recently released superstar? We've got scrapped WrestleMania plans for you. And an NXT star has confirmed that they are injured. We'll tell you more shortly. Kicking things off with a report from PW Insider regarding a recent WWE release, who apparently the company is considering bringing back. And that man is Aleister Black. The report states there's been some talk that Aleister Black was cut prematurely, you think, and there's a push for the company to bring him back in. Whether anything comes of this or not remains to be seen, but as the shock of the releases last week wears off, there's been a feeling from everyone that Black was cut too soon and was more the victim of broken promises and stop creative more than anything that he did of his own accord. Duh. What do you say about that?
How can you can't go through all that and then be like, yeah, that was, we shouldn't have done that. This is all
right.
like,
it's a man's life you're messing with, isn't it?
And that's the whole thing where it's like, oh, WWE wants to bring him back. It's like, well, will he want to come back after all of that? Like, time's going to tell, but...
I agree. It's that age-old expression, isn't it? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. So he's been really outspoken on Twitch, obviously, and he's hinted that Zelina Vega's WWE release was unwarranted and that sort of stuff. I don't see him going back, and nor should he. You can't just play with people, can you? Because that's what it's doing. It's just saying, like, you are so disposable. What if he comes back, more broken promises, see you later, gone in 6 months again? Nah, go and do it on your own. Go wherever. Go AEW, go do the indies, wherever.
That's the thing. It's almost like they've forgotten they have competition now. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we'll just bring him back.
For sure. Doesn't work like that anymore. And you know what? I imagine his phone has been ringing quite a lot over the last week or so. I don't think he's going to be struggling to find work. Speaking of Aleister Black, we got some scrapped WrestleMania plans that have been revealed. During his appearance on Renee Young's podcast, Tommy End stated that at one point there was a pitch for him to be involved in the Boneyard match to assist The Undertaker at WrestleMania 36. And that would have been excellent. I mean, we've all wanted to see Taker and Black do something together just because their characters do have similarities and very dark, spooky gothic boys. But that would have been excellent. That would have elevated him so much. Just the rub of being on screen with The Undertaker, it does wonders, doesn't it?
It doesn't even need to be, it didn't even need to be a massive monumental passing of the torch moment. If he even just popped up, it could, as you said, it would have been so beneficial.
Yeah, it would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
I can't. How do you drop the ball so much?
All the time. These aren't difficult people to book either. Anyway, do you want to book Braun Strowman for your indie show, birthday party, funeral, or bris?
I do, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, PW Insider have revealed how many dollary-doos that is going to cost you. So they've heard from independent promoters that have reached out to Braun Strowman about booking him for upcoming shows. And they have heard back what his asking price is. And it's in the 5-figure range. They say that they've been told that Strowman is set pretty much financially, doesn't need to immediately run out and do bookings, but if a promoter comes along and meets the right price, that's a different story. The interesting, it's a difficult one, isn't it, here? Because 5-figure range could be $10,000, it could be $99,000. There's quite a big difference in those two figures. And you know what? Like, if it's, I don't think it's an unreasonable price to be asking. Certainly the lower 5 figures for Braun, because he was a big star, former world champion, and obviously we're not going to go into figures. But I remember WCPW; they were spending that sort of money on some of the bigger names for sure.
It's just like an industry standard thing, I guess. You know, these people have been at people who get released and then go on to the indie side of things. They've been at the absolute top of the game. You know, they've been on TV all over the world every week for God knows how long. And then to have them appear on your indie, especially this close after release, I think the price is always going to be pretty high there because you're going to be the first or one of the first indies to have Braun Strowman if you want him. So I think it makes sense. It's provided, as you said, it's low 5 figures, like to around that area. Then I think that's absolutely fine.
And it says here that he insists on train travel. Just a note there. WWE turning down... Choo-choo indeed. WWE turned down an offer by NWA. Our next story, very, very interesting indeed. Billy Corgan was on Talk Is Jericho, and he was talking about his purchase of the NWA. He said, crazily enough, it was owned by one person. It was so devalued. He tried to sell it to everybody. Nobody wanted it, as far as I know. He certainly offered it to WWE. They thought it was so worthless that they didn't just buy it to take it off the market. Couldn't even be bothered, which is nuts, given the prestige. Obviously, it was at a very, very low point.
Yeah.
And at that time, it wasn't worth that much. But you think of the history of the NWA, and WWE go around purchasing tape libraries willy-nilly, don't they?
Well, I mean, that's the side of it that I don't know if that was in the question. So if the NWA tape library was in the question and they turned it down, I think that's
not what I'm saying.
But
I'm just saying they like having lots of intellectual property. They owning lots of things and having control over everything. So I doubt the tape libraries were included. I think it was probably just the name, the trademark.
At that point, they already own the NWA, to be honest. If they have the tape library, if they've got enough of the footage, then that's where you got to go to see it. They already own it. They don't need the name. So it's one of those things unfortunate because, it's sad to see, as you said, something that once held such prestige having fallen to the lows it did fall to. But, ultimately it has worked out for the better. We have somewhere fresh for people to work and it's a more niche kind of just meta product, isn't it?
I think it's great. I think Mr. Smashing Pumpkin has done a wonderful job making it a very interesting, a very unique show as well. It's different to everything else that is being produced in wrestling right now. And a lot of really interesting characters on there, a lot of nice little throwbacks and that sort of stuff. It's a good show, so good for him. Next up, a popular NXT star has announced that she is indeed injured. Now, this has been speculated upon but never confirmed for a bit of time. We're talking about Shotzy Blackheart. She was written off TV on the May 25th episode of NXT, and obviously, people have been saying that they think she's injured. Somebody tweeted, Antoine Parish, his name is, where is Shotzy? Is she injured? And she quote retweeted saying, yup. So there you go. We don't know what the injury is. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know when we can expect to see her back. But obviously, we send her all of our best. Get well soon, Shotzy, because you are great. And finally, WWE 3 documentaries have been nominated for awards. What are they, Sammy?
So they have WWE 24 Edge, which is the second mountain, is up for... WWE 24 Edge.
We're rubbish this morning, Sam. Have you know? I can't get words out. I'm shook this morning.
I can't believe it.
I was going to do this from home. I was super relaxed. I had a coffee ready. Then my laptop wasn't working. Couldn't do any of that. I had to Uber in super quick.
Yeah, I couldn't get to
sleep last night. We are rubbish.
We're sorry, everybody. But yes, the documentaries that are up for awards are WWE 24 Edge, The Second Mountain. God, you love a long title. That's up for documentary biography / profiles. WWE Chronicle Jey Uso earned the nod for craft, film / production cinematography. And WWE Untold Goldberg's streak is running for streaming / documentary in that category.
Winners will be announced. Why have they gone in different categories? They're all basically the same thing, aren't they? Just wrestling documentaries.
Well, there's different aspects of different productions that may be good. It might be a terrible documentary, but the sound mixing might be good, for instance.
Yeah, I get that. But they've got documentary biography profiles and then streaming documentary. Why?
You've been to an awards ceremony, right, where you just sat there for 9 hours?
Never got an award for anything.
You sit there for 9 hours, and it's like best local radio drama, best local news report, and you that's all the stuff you go through. So there are oddly specific categories a lot of the time.
Yeah, I get the difference between cinematography and the overall documentary thing, but best streaming documentary, they're giving awards for the way that documentaries are distributed now.
I guess
I'm
you know,
whinging. We've spent more time on this than anything else, Sam. Let's wrap it up. This is bollocks. Right. Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck to WWE for your 3 documentaries there.
I will say,
we'll be
real
on form
quick,
for the second. Go on.
Real quick, I will say that they do deserve it, the documentary side
they're
of that.
amazing.
They are
amazing.
unbelievably talented, and it must be a goldmine of stories to work with there. But yes, I will let you conclude, Adam.
Excellent. Well, this has been the worst news video ever. All the best. See you in a couple of hours for another one. Look forward to that.